This is video 3. All kinds of people. No tyrants. Are we raining on our parade? Absolutely. And these cops wondering what the hell's going on. Last time I walked down here videoing a parade was the Thanksgiving parade in 2023. And there were a whole lot of marching bands. None of that now. So I see a lot of people with cameras, and in fact very expensive looking cameras. So maybe this will be known.
Only you can predict that.
So that's Catholic Cathedral. I've been in there. And there's a roof garden. I was there the day before September 11th with my children. As guest of a National Writers Union activist, and the next day the world changed. So that's where I was the day before. The last day everything was normal. I was doing something extremely abnormal on the parkway with my children, having a very elegant afternoon tea. Yeah, there's statues everywhere because, you know, white men with weapons. How they got there, I don't know. This started off as a Quaker colony. Now this statue, Amor, this is to mirror the love statue that's in Love Park. And this was put up for when Pope Francis visited Philadelphia in 2015. So passing all these wonderful buildings here. That brown and white building is the Academy of Natural Sciences, and I was there yesterday hanging out with my favorite dinosaurs. Dinosaurs lived for like nearly 200 million years. And then an asteroid just wiped them out. Boom, just like that. What chance do we have? We've barely been here 20,000 years, 50,000 years. That's the Free Library right in front of us. We're walking around that. This is a very scenic route for a protest.
They are the ones that manage how much money you are allowed to make. And I don't know about y'all, but most of us are living paycheck to paycheck. Hey, I don't even want to get a toothache because I don't even know if I can get a dentist. I do have nice teeth though. So, we need to note that the labor that is done to make the roads, to ensure that the library functions, to ensure that our children are taught labor that goes into ensuring that each and every one of us is healthy, the young and old, the labor that goes into bringing supplies into every major city via the docks or the railways, the labor necessary to drive the buses and the trains. That labor is done by workers. It is not the president, it is not the House of Representatives, it is not any branch of government that ensures that the society functions. It is you! In fact, when ICE comes down on our migrant brothers and sisters and siblings, those are the very people that help grow our food, that help build our homes, that help watch our children, that help clean the linens of hotels and places of temporary stay, and etc. We have far more in common with them than we have in common with landlords such as Donald Trump or mass capitalists such as Elon Musk. So, I want you to question this. If we are the people that make society function, if we are the ones that literally ensure we eat, that build our homes, that ensure that we're healthy, why do we allow people in suits to take the profits from that? Why do we allow people in suits to segregate who has access to that? If you work in the market or in food service, how can you leave a job right about the
Gorgeous summer flowers here. The flowers don't care. Some beautiful, beautiful flowers here. Philadelphia's gardeners are doing a great job. I wonder if they're deporting all the gardeners. So it seems like people are converging in three directions. There's a lot of people here. That with the sky, that's a Mormon temple that was put up about 10 years ago. These gorgeous flowers. Oh, this is lovely. I guess that's another thing we're fighting for, the right to have beautiful things, beautiful gardens. Our tax dollars should be making us feel good, not being used to buy billionaires' third, fourth, fifth, sixth yacht. Ice out, free LA. Okay, that's my Spanish lesson today. That's not a word I learned from Duolingo. Go over to the side. The people united will never be defeated. Yeah, right. Actually, that was interesting. I mean, seeing children in the April 4th rally, the hands-off rally, there were a lot of children in strollers, and I didn't see any. And they were catching the train from New Jersey. I didn't see any on the train this morning. There are a few children here.
Middle of the parkway, avoid the side streets and the the parkway.
You want to be in the middle, okay.
And turn closer down the middle of the parkway, not this side street, but the other side of the
I only like crushed ice. Just the music. There's the marching band. I love these handmade signs. They're trying to corral us, which makes sense to a lot of us. But I haven't. All I see are relaxed, non-violent, determined, with a bunch go birds. Of course, it's Philadelphia.
That's really
Now, for anyone who doesn't know what that means, go birds, it's the Philadelphia Eagles, the football team. And in fact, I saw go birds written on an aluminum roof 60 feet up in the air yesterday. The Eagles are taken very seriously in Philadelphia. And in fact, when you're talking about crowd size, you compare it to an Eagles crowd. Is this as jammed as an Eagles crowd after the Eagles have won? No, certainly not. You couldn't get out of the subways. So is it half the size? It might be, which is pretty good. People in Philadelphia care more about football than they do democracy, or else they're just scared. They don't want to get into trouble. They've seen all these videos of ICE arresting people. They don't want to get into trouble. At some stage, I imagine some people will be arrested because ICE and cops just can't resist doing that. When you've got all these people here and they conclude some of them must have been doing something wrong, so you have to arrest them. I'd like to get to the museum ahead of the mass of the crowd, but I probably won't. I am wearing my Amnesty International t-shirt. Amnesty International is well known for recording in dangerous spots. Although this isn't dangerous yet. Maybe it won't be. It's heavy. All these photographers walking with these heavy tripods, heavy cameras. Okay, let's see if I can. Actually, we're walking pretty quickly, which is surprising. Usually people kind of amble along, but everyone's in a huge hurry.
With so many things, it's hard to
Injustice becomes law, resistance becomes necessary. Absolutely. I'm glad she's been interviewed. I hope people watch her speak. No Kings since 1776. Poor King George. Porphyria. I wonder who was really in charge of issuing all the laws. Maybe it was the British Parliament. I don't know. I don't know how powerful the British Parliament was then. They were certainly a lot more powerful than they had been in 1649 when they chopped the head off Charles I. Okay, there's a big park at the end of it's called Eakins Oval. I'm not sure everyone here could fit. Stay on the right side of history. But people are watching. They're not joining us, they're just watching. You know, even politicians we like can be pretty evil. I read yesterday that at the Academy of Natural Sciences that when Jackie Kennedy showed up on a tour, I believe it was in Germany, I might be wrong, but she was wearing, or maybe it was Japan, I'm not sure. Anyway, she was wearing a leopard skin coat. And directly after that, that became fashionable to wear a leopard skin coat. And directly because of her, 250,000 leopards were slaughtered for coats. And leopards were then put on the endangered list. So you get a little bit of money, a little bit of power, you don't know what you have. And that's the problem. Too much power is a very bad thing for everyone, especially the people who have the power. Yeah. That looks like the Biafran flag. The half sun. It's actually, it's Malawi, so it's the Marcus Garvey flag. Red, green and black. UNIA flag.
Take it slow for a minute.
Okay, we've got to slow down because we are. Resist. That's a great flag. Resist. Immigrants are criminals. Torture. Yeah, he's 34 indicted criminal, convicted rapist. I bet he's loving this. He loves being the center of attention. So even if we're coming out and saying how awful he is, I bet he's loving this. Because he knows no one has a guillotine and no one's going to cut his head off. Because we don't do that. We're civilized, right? He doesn't have to be civilized, but we are. And if we do anything violent, we're worse than he is. We do not want to be worse than he is. Okay, look at that. The whole Eakins Park is fenced off. I thought we were going there, I guess not. So we're going to the actually art museum steps. Okay. So here we've come to the art museum ahead of us. That Greek looking building. Liberty.
Somebody back there says support Trump. You gotta find him. Where he at?
On the where water.
That looks like the Palestine flag, except of course it's in the wrong order. I'm not sure what country that is. Something in the Middle East, I imagine. The Palestine flag is a black stripe, a white stripe, and a green stripe with a red arrow on the side, a red triangle on the side overlapping them all. The Burglar King supersizing line. Look at that. Oh my, plenty of porta potties. And here are all the cops wondering what they're doing here. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Look at that. Woo! Democracy looks like clean toilets. ACLU. Okay, good. I knew they would be here. And there's the Puerto Rican flag. Fabulous. Free Puerto Rico. Free Palestine. No Kings. No Kings! No Kings.
Oh, those mics are not helpful.
Power to the people.
Suppressed by they can't do that. They really do.
Love thy neighbor. That's right. Can we walk across here? I think we can.
Israeli protesters.
here in
Says like the Death Star.
November for the Veterans
Never been
Day
attacked. It was just
parade,
a
which is right up in front of
The Death Star had every
the
right
art
to
museum. We didn't do a march first, which I was expecting. The Veterans Parade shrank considerably. They just did a little stroll in front of the art museum and that was it. Okay, I want to get up to the No Kings, No Idols. That's right. Oh yeah, the golden calf. Wow, Interfaith Alliance. Faithful America, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, I see, he's got a red tie. Oh, that's him. Okay. No Kings, No Idols. The development. No swimming.